those who know me, I'm never short of too many words. I'm going to talk about three healings. And I chose these healings to kind of demonstrate or maybe illuminate what the word healing might mean, right? So the first healing I had was really, really early on and when we were learning just some basics, targeted, something targeted, something specific. Pain in the knee, as an example. So somebody came to me with pain in their knee. This was a very active person, somebody who had an identity around biking and jogging and being in action. And so they're a year or two into a process of having to like not being able to move their knee from major inflammation, never giving it time to recover, etc. Holding the hand, maybe 2 sessions, just 2 sessions on this knee, circulating energy, targeted, loving it, telling it it's okay, etc. And the knee softened. It finally restored. Something in the inflammation was able to be diffused. We can palpably feel the energy around an inflamed body part, and help soothe it with a certain appropriate energy depending on what the tissue is. All right, the second healing was a lot more tender, right? That was more of just a physical issue, some frustration involved. But this was a woman that came with a palpably heavy heart, somebody who had been I kind of perceived her a bit as a bit reclusive, a bit, yeah, maybe guarded. I'm not sure. But we established some trust, and she shared with me that she had been 10 years grieving her mother. Her mother had passed. She was living in her house, her mother's house. And so she had a lot of palpable stagnation across her heart and her chest. And in the healing, she was able to really go through another level of grief. Perhaps not the last part of it, but a lot of tears, a lot of sorrow, missing her mother. Well, a week later, she reached out to me for another healing. Um, and it wasn't that healing that I remember so well, but I do remember what she reported. She reported that she started to declutter her whole house. She started to throw things away that she had been holding on to, memories, keepsakes, etc. Um, Things that helped her stay connected to her mother. And she also reported that she had, this was her words, not mine, gallons and gallons of snot coming out of her, just blowing her nose all the time, just kind of um, a, like a reaction to moving this emotion inside of her. So the first healing that I'm talking about, that's that targeted pulse electromagnetic field. It's very contained for a specific spot. But this is more in the emotional field, the things that we carry on our heart. The last healing I want to talk about is about how there's a spiritual connection to sort of the way in which we relate to our circumstances and to the life itself. Um, So I was invited to do a healing with a person who was dying. They had breast cancer, and they refused to use this word, cancer. They called it the C word, the C word. And to her, um, this was like giving it energy. If she called it what it was giving it energy. Um, it was sort of surrendering to something that she wasn't ready to face or something. Like I'm not I'm not sure exactly what the hiccup was, but when I showed up and I arrived, I could feel the pressure on my heart to rescue, like somebody that's near death. There's kind of this wish that we could hold them here and help them stay a little bit longer, perhaps work on the diffuse the source of the issue. And I felt heavy-hearted when I left because I could see and feel that that wasn't going to be the case. And so uh, she immediately started talking to her friends in a very, very different way. And she died 3 weeks later. But she came to terms with what she was in and came to peace with it and spoke at length with her loved ones in a way different tone and texture. And I was told that later by some of those friends. Um, so so yeah, I just share those three stories to kind of broaden the term healing from cure or fix or change, but instead to perhaps see the different facets of the term.